video circulating online right now that lasts only a few seconds, but it carries centuries of meaning. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and this is the ADNC reporting live in Johannesburg. Now, a black man tries to pass through a crowded beer garden in Louisiana, and he brushes past someone blocking the way, right? Then he taps the man on the back and says the most harmless words imaginable. Excuse me. And for that, he gets kicked from the back. Not bumped, not confronted, but kicked. And what happened next has gone viral, and not because it's shocking, but because it's familiar. Let's check this video out and come and discuss.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Now, the footage that was captured by security cameras and shared on TikTok shows a white bar patron reacting with instant violence, right? No argument, no warning, just a kick deliverance to a black man's body after the black man had already tried to de-escalate and move on. Now, the black man responds instinctively, knocking the attacker off the deck and onto the ground below. Now, emergency services were called, of course, police arrived, firefighters, and ambulance, and then something interesting happens. The law enforcement reviews the footage, they identify who initiated the violence, and according to accounts shared online, the black man is allowed to leave without charges. Now, he says officers shook his hand and told him, hey, have a better night. Now, let's be clear for a minute, because this is not about celebrating violence, right? I'm not celebrating violence and role. It's not about cheering retaliation. And I believe it is certainly not about turning pain into entertainment, but it is about power. Because what we saw in that video is the kind of entitlement that assumes violence against black bodies will go unquestioned and that consequences would fall elsewhere. Them, people socialized to believe their discomfort justifies force, and us, people taught to manage ourselves carefully in public spaces because the margin for error is razor thin. I mean, it's quite sad because in today's world, in many parts of the world, it's a habit. Different uniforms, same logic. Let's not lie to ourselves. The issue wasn't that someone was brushed on the back. The issue wasn't manners. The issue was a black man refusing to disappear and refusing to shrink and refusing to apologize for needing to pass through a space. The kick was not a reflex. It was a message. A message that said, I can touch you however I want, and you're supposed to take it. And the message has a long and ugly history that we are very familiar with. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Without the security footage, this story likely ends very differently. Without video, we've seen how quickly narratives flip. We've seen how aggressors become the victim. We've seen that the victim becomes the threat and the context disappears. Now, this time, the camera didn't blink. It showed who started it, it showed who escalated it, and it forced accountability, however limited. This is not about justice. This is evidence interrupting bias. Now imagine the reverse. If a black man kicked a white patron from behind for saying, excuse me, we don't even need to speculate widely because history has already answered that question. Different assumptions, different policing, different outcomes. That's what us versus them looks like in the real life. Not hashtags, but consequences. And many people online applauded the black man's response. Comments like every action has a reaction flooded the post. And while that sentiment comes from a place of frustration and long denied dignity, we need to be quite careful with that. Because I do believe we should not have to fight to be respected. We should not have to risk our lives to assert boundaries. And we should not mistake survival for victory. The real issue is not the response, it's the assumption that violence against black people is permissible until proven otherwise. This wasn't just a bar fight, it was a reminder of how quickly black humanity is tested white aggression is minimized, and accountability depends on cameras and witnesses and luck. It was also a reminder that systems don't change because of goodwill. They change when truth is unavoidable. It matters that police reviewed the footage. It matters that they identified the instigator, and it matters that the black man was not criminalized for defending himself. But let's not exaggerate. So what do we take from this? That excuse should not be dangerous, and that public space should not require permission, and that dignity should not depend on video evidence. Because the truth of the matter is that we have us, black people navigating the world, are tired of being tested for restraint we did not even volunteer for. And we have them, those who confuse dominance with entitlement, must learn that violence has consequences, and not because retaliation is righteous, but because respect is non-negotiable. The real lesson here isn't about kicks or falls. It is about this: a society that treats black presence as provocation will keep producing these moments until it decides that black humanity is not up for debate. Now let's continue the conversation in the comment section. I do want to hear what your thoughts are on this, and while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is bye-bye for now.